They could. Satan could lead me up on a mountain and say, "I will make you God on earth if you'll kill one child," and I wouldn't do it if they were black or polka dotted or green or white.
Exactly.
This is so evil.
It is unquestionably evil, and it's very sad commentary to the civil rights movement because Dr. King died in '68, and he more or less there never was really a designated Joshua to come in and lead, and basically they began to fight amongst themselves for power, and this brought about an opportunity with Roe versus Wade, which was right around the corner, to offer money to these leaders, and they basically buying their silence and asking for their allegiance.
And now 16 million dead people.
16 million. And then there's just the consciousness of the deaf culture being so deeply embedded in the African-American community, the fact that we would embrace a message that would cause a woman to do the antithetical thing about life being in her, and that is to kill it. That is just the opposite of God, of faith, of a walk of religious bringing. And
Reverend Childress, stay there. BlackGenocide.org. Our websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. We're going to come back and continue breaking this down. And, of course, they don't stop there. They put the fluoride in your water, the GMO crops, all designed to sterilize you. Here's a Times of London headline from May 24th of last year. Billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation. The Rockefellers, Ted Turner, Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey. Secret meeting, it says at the end of the article, for a world government to forcibly reduce world population. Now, it's a litmus test for political candidates in the Democratic Party, but the Republicans, they could have overturned this. Most of them go along with it as well, to carry out this extermination. And Barack Obama, when he got in power, took the hold off of billions of dollars in Africa, where they come into villages and basically force abortions on people just like China. And if you'll adopt this, the big global system gives you all the power because it's about killing. Just like Pharaoh demanded the firstborn be sacrificed, so many other kings throughout history demand your firstborn, or they demand your children. It's an act of submission. It's a death cult. Again, I've come through this from studying the globalists' own writings, and they know what they're doing. And this is going on against all communities, but the main focus of this Luciferian system is killing black people. Going back to the Reverend Childress, please continue, sir, breaking down what you were getting into with the black leaders, the 52% of blacks never being born, and how we stop this.
Well, and that's what listeners need to know. If two African-American women get pregnant, one of them for sure is going to choose abortion. And at this rate, from Alan Guttmacher, who sat on the board of Planned Parenthood and probably has better stats than most of the Guttmacher Institute, he proudly reports that 52% of all African-American pregnancies end in abortion. He also, what they failed to tell you, of course, as you've already alluded to, and thank God for your work, the health ramifications that are just horrific, which are never discussed. African-Americans now, by using abortion nearly as a contraceptive, African-American women now lead the country in preterm death rates of their children due to the fact of the multiple abortions doesn't allow the uteral lining to have the strength enough to carry full term.
And it's also been documented that these IUDs they put in women in the 70s, 80s, and 90s were designed to screw up women's uteruses.
Exactly.
And the same things come up with Depo-Provera, that it a lot of times really hurts women's fertility. Folks, you need to understand, and I mean, I've seen all the big studies. They know it increases cancer risk having abortions.
Yes, 66%. And it's just outrageous that the NAACP has fought every year since 2006 from this coming to the floor just for discussion and workshops being set up just from the health issue point of view, since African-American women, who account only for 12% of the population, are having 37% of the abortion. So if that is the case, and it's already that abortion is the most performed operation on a woman, how can you not allow the information, the health information, especially when it comes to the issue of breast cancer? And it can be clearly seen by all data that breast cancer basically rose and basically skyrocketed right after Roe versus Wade in the African-American community. So we're looking for a grassroots. Just recently, there's been a documentary out, My Alpha, and being seen in the Selma Film Festival this Sunday.
Absolutely. We offer it at Infowars.com, the DVD film, incredibly powerful. Back in 70 seconds, Reverend. And again, I've researched all this. Everything he's saying is documented. You need to be as informed as he is, folks, to stop this genocide.
He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Pastor Clenard Howard Childress is our guest. BlackGenocide.org is the website. Pastor, you were getting into abortion statistics. I've seen hundreds of mainstream news articles from major prestigious research institutions that it causes cervical, that it causes massive increases of cancer in the uterus, in the breast, because it interrupts a normal cycle, and it's very, very dangerous for the body. And we're sending a crew to interview you about this for an upcoming film. But this is a fact, and women need to know this. And then there's all the evidence of how they push abortion once people get to the Planned Parenthood facility. But I want you to continue on any other points you think are most important. Then I want to get into African Americans, black people in this country, but all over the world, need to know that their leaders are worse than Judas Iscariot. They are there. They are financed. Because if the system comes to you and says, hi, I'm a Nazi, I want to kill you, black people are going to run. But if they come and say, I'm a loving liberal, I'm going to keep you safe from the Ku Klux Klan. Well, the Ku Klux Klan's pretty bad, but they haven't killed 16 million people. I found it's the Birkenstock-wearing fake liberal. When you really corner them, they hate black people, they hate life, they hate humanity. They and their green police want to get rid of the majority of the world population.
Absolutely. Well, especially when it comes, let me get back to this one health point of view, because people say, well, how does it affect me as a woman when you say breast cancer? How does that come about? Well, if you miscarry, your brain picks that up and sends messages throughout the body to shut down. If it's surgically done, the child, or if you have an abortion, the brain does not pick that up, and it begins to send out impulses to the rest of the body as if you have a child. And the greatest damage done is in the breast, because by the time the brain figures out there's no baby there,
and that's what the science shows. There's a massive hormone flux.
Exactly.
That's why mammals get cancers thousands of times more often than sharks, because sharks don't have hormones.
Right, and that's just, and isn't it amazing that Planned Parenthood, the leading abortion provider, does not share that information with a woman coming in for the first time for an abortion? That is negligence. That's medical negligence, but yet no one holds them accountable, which allows me to segue over to what, all data proves right now is, and I know this program, just for the few minutes I've been on it, has been sounding this alarm, and it's very important that, unfortunately, folks, the government is very deep into this eugenics mindset and movement globally, and so they stepped back a few years ago and picked an entity to lead the charge where they could be basically undercover in their intent and agenda to control the numbers of the world, but especially, of course, African Americans, and they picked Planned Parenthood. And they get $350 million, $1 million each day, $350 million of taxpayer money by both administrations, whether it's been Democrat or whether it's been Republican. And so we find that this is an agenda of elitists that are getting this support from government to continue the eugenic practices of sterilization, abortion, and seducing third world countries into taking this in as a part of their day-to-day. So this is going on, and there's only one way I believe it could ever come to a close or to a stop, is that for the voices of the people to be united as one and to be informed. And because it's so massive, it would take a massive movement to address this ill and have the data. And now this is a day that we do have the data to point out that these eugenic elitists have infiltrated just about every neighborhood.
All right, Pastor, stay there. We're going to break it down on the other side. Long segment coming up. BlackGenocide.org.